Hey there, comic book friends and fiends. It's Rob here in front of the Great Wall of Comics. I went up to the East Bay Comic Con the other day, picked up a few books. Let's go. All right, so you saw the video there of me walking around the con, getting to the con, all that other fun stuff. Truncated footage. Two things happened. One, there was some recording issues where people kept bumping into us. You can see it was tight spaces, and the record button kept getting hit and toggling off the recordings. Kept getting stopped by people recognizing me and wanting to say hello. And then, of course, just the reality of the situation. It was such a compact space to work inside this hotel that walking around in there was a lot of footage of people, the back of people's heads, and you didn't need to see a lot of it. You just got the idea. It's a small convention in a hotel. It was split into a couple different rooms with the hotel lobby in the middle, and we kind of could go around there, and there was a lot of vendors packed into a small space. Surprisingly, actually a pretty decent number of comic book vendors. In the past, it's been like 3 or 4 maybe, and a bunch of stuff. This time, I would say there was probably 20 to 25% of the vendors had some comics. I might be exaggerating, but anyways, we were able to find a lot of stuff to pick up. No slabs this time though, and that's fine. I didn't mind not picking up any slabs. I'll save that for when I go big game hunting at Heroes Con or WonderCon. But let's get into it. Let's see the haul. Now, some of these, about half the stack here is for the giveaway bin, and the other half is for me. So let's kick it off first with the giveaway bin. We're going to kick it off right here out of the gate. Here we have Captain America 172. This is an X-Men crossover and features Marvel Value Stamp number 43. I love that that's the key thing, is we're listing what Marvel Value Stamp is on it now. Captain America and Falcon 179, the Golden Archer, Marvel Value Stamp number 52 inside. And I did confirm that these have the Marvel Value Stamp. They haven't been removed. Here we got Web of Spider-Man, issue 36. This is the first appearance of Tombstone. This is a big boy book kind of going into the giveaway bin in reality. This is Spectacular Spider-Man issue 90. What is this book? If you don't know, this is the second appearance of the Spider-Man in his black suit. It's tied for Marvel Team Up 141. If you go back to when they were published and when they were released, first was 252, the week that Marvel Team Up 141, which people always have in that conversation, that was the following week, and this book came out that same week. So it's tied for the two. So second appearance, and it's also the first appearance of the black suit in the Spectacular Spider-Man series. We've got a copy of, what is it, Superman 194, Kurt Swan cover. Captain America 224. Some of these, just like these Captain America, next couple Captain America ones, just had cool covers, I thought. 200s series, so they're still early in the run. Some cool looking covers. 225, not keys, just cool looking covers. It was a 258. I like that. That's a nice action pose. I really kind of dig that. Reminds me almost kind of along the lines of some of those Spider-Man poses you would get. Oh, and of course, you got to have yourself a nice Red Skull cover. And he's in his Nazi uniform to boot. That's perfect. And we've got a first printing of the first solo series featuring Spider-Gwen. That's going in the giveaway bin. We got a famous Catwoman Adam Hughes cover featuring Zatanna. Another Catwoman Adam Hughes cover. And another. Matter of fact, this one, I thought for a moment that it was signed. I had to look it up because that's like how he does his signature. But I had to look it up and realize that the regular images of the book included that. And the reason I wasn't 100% sure was that it's actually got heavier. The ink isn't applied evenly. It's like a normal signature one. It was very good. It's a very good printing of it. So, anyways, here we have Avengers King Size Annual number 8. That's going in the giveaway bin. And then we've got 15-cent goodness Superboy 164. Get some DC love in there. And the All-Star Squadron number 8, the first appearance of Danette Riley as the second Firebrand. All-Star Squadron, of course, is essentially DC's answer to the Invaders, fighting a team of heroes fighting Nazis in World War II. Okay, that's the books that are going into the giveaway bin. Nice little stack there. We'll put those off to the side. And now the question is, if that's what I bought for the giveaway bin, what did I get for you boy? Well, let's get to it, baby. First up, we found ourselves a Ravage 2099. First appearance of Ravage. Of course, this is the final Stan Lee written book, storyline, and our character created and all that other stuff. So I actually picked up 2 copies. The funny thing about this is I actually picked up, and I don't think they're not in this stack. I picked up a huge stack of Turok number 1s for Legion of Comics. You don't know, Legion of Comics has a thing for Turok, and so one of the vendors I've bought from regularly, and that's what I love about these shows. You get to know these vendors, you build relationships, and he had a stack of these Turoks, and he's like, he had a tag on them, said $5 each. And so I asked him, I said, hey, out of curiosity, how much for that whole stack? And there was 9 of them there. And he goes, the whole stack? And I'm like, yeah. He's all, for you? I said, yeah, well, for my buddy. I'm going to buy them for my buddy and gift it to him. And he goes, you can have the stack for $20. So, a little over half off. Well, done. And he goes, why does he like that? We got in this conversation about who knows why people like things. It's like me. I'll pick up a Ravage 2099 number 1 whenever. He goes, oh, I got 2 of them over there in the dollar bin book. He says, just go grab them and they're yours. So, for free, gratis, I got myself 2 shiny Ravage 2099 number 1s, and they are good. There's one little spine tick on each one of them. Non-color breaking. It's just a little crease in the foil. I'm happy with that. I'm not going to have them graded. I already have my couple 9/8s, so that's just for me. Another book I love to pick up whenever I can find one at a reasonable rate. Bam! Spider-Man 2099 #1. That's my guy, the comic book that launched my collecting days. The very first comic book I picked up off a rack was a Spider-Man 2099 red foil, baby. So I have a sweet spot in my heart for that. Of course, that is the first full appearance of Spider-Man 2099. His first appearance is in preview in Amazing Spider-Man 365. This is a cool, just a little book. I liked the cover because it had bubble helmet, Mysteries of Unexplored Worlds, Journey Through Time. So this is trying to save Abraham Lincoln. Don't go in there, you're gonna get assassinated. And I love that the lettering is so awful. It's just typed. Practically, it's great. We have Amazing Spider-Man 132. This is a run filler, and that's what some of these books are. Some of these books for me, they're just run fillers that I needed to add to the collection just to fill some gaps. Web of Spider-Man 57. Shocked in by the Skinhead. Web of Spider-Man issue 60. We got Goliath. We've got ourselves a Web of Spider-Man 61 with Dragon Man. Web of Spider-Man really was kind of the redheaded stepchild of the Spider-Man universe in the 80s and 90s. Had obviously Amazing Spider-Man was your A game. Spectacular Spider-Man had been around the second longest and was your B book. Closely there was the C book, with Spider-Man in its title, but Web of Spider-Man, definitely the D book, had while there was some heroes or some villains like Tombstone that were created there, if you think about him, really, Tombstone's probably the biggest villain to come out of Web of Spider-Man, and he's not that big of a villain in the grand scheme of the Spider-Man thing. Aside from his recent arc in Amazing Spider-Man, he's pretty much been a villain that's only shown up, for the most part, in Web of Spider-Man and in Spectacular Spider-Man. So he's kind of like that C+ C level villain on a par with like Hammerhead and such. So, but anyway, so here we go. This is Web of Spider-Man 73. And so this is just one of those series. I'm not heavily trying to pick these up, but if I'm out at a con and like this one, and there wasn't a lot of big books that was catching my eye, and I'm just kind of digging through stuff, I'll pick up some Web of Spider-Man books. I'll pick up some Spectacular books, whatever, to fill in my runs. Here we go. Strange Tales featuring the Golem. This book I picked up actually really mostly by mistake. I thought that this was a supernatural, under the supernatural title, based on how it was laid out and everything. I didn't realize it was a Strange Tales, but that's fine. I'm not mad. I like the cover. I like the Golem. I like that kind of 70s era kind of horror monster books. Here we go. We got some McFarland Spider-Man, Spider-Man issue 13. Believe it or not, I didn't have this book in my collection. I have countless copies of Spider-Man 1, but not the first homage. The first homage to Spider-Man 1 right there in Spider-Man 13. I finally pick it up and add it to the collection. All right, what else we got? Oh, this book I saw. Now, I'm not a Wonder Woman collector, but I love Bruce Timm, and I love Bruce Timm art. So when I found this 80th anniversary Spectacular, a Bruce Timm cover of Wonder Woman, I was all in. That was coming home with your boy. Love me some Bruce Timm. I don't know why. There's just something about the style, the artwork, that I like that it's quirky. I like that it can be sensual and sexy, but not really like at the same time, the same way you would think that a natural or more natural type of drawing would be. I mean, it's an artistic vision. It's just, I don't know. There's something about the style that he does that I just kind of dig it. Here's a nice, I was happy to find this. This is really high. had to step up for this book because it is pristine. This is probably a 9.2 copy, maybe, and this is Batman issue 252. So I am working on my Batman run from 250 on up. Most of the books I need are in that 250 to 270 range at this point. They are not easy to find at conventions. When I go to conventions and I look in Batman, you see a lot of books. You see a lot of the new 52 runs, see a lot of the current run. When you see the older Batman runs, you'll see a lot of. I see a lot of books in the 400s and 500s. Those are popular to bring out to conventions. Sometimes I see some 300s, but not a lot. And I've got all those. Finding the 200s in the bins of a con at a reasonable price in good condition is pretty difficult. I find, it's a gap in those collections. It'll be like that sellers have. Sometimes you'll see if some of the 100s and whatnot that they're selling, and those are going to be more pricey because they're getting closer to the golden age realm. But getting these mid 200s and up, 200 to 300 range, again, at least around here, I don't see them at conventions hardly ever. So when I can see one, I see a good quality condition one, and the price that he was asking, once I could bundle it together with some other books, was reasonable. I'm taking it home. All right, these next two books, I honestly did not think I could get them for this price. I got the two books together. I paid like $70 for the pair, so $35 a piece roughly. And I am perfectly fine with that because these are clean. A little press will do one of the books wonders. The other one is sharp as a nail. And then the first one here is Pacific Presents Rocketeer first issue. So this is the first solo issue featuring the Rocketeer. Previous to this, he'd been like in the book with Star Slayer and stuff. So our first full Rocketeer by himself. Well, I guess, he's a book Missing Man, but it's his book. And then special edition Rocketeer here. Rocket's Red Glare. Beautiful, beautiful books. Whew, Dave Stevens. And oh yeah, so it's this one here is Dave Stevens' Rocketeer and Steve Ditko's The Missing Man. So you go, get Ditko and Stevens. So that's pretty cool. All right. Last up, I had some commissions to pick up. So these one-day cons, they're not conducive to trying to get a commission done on site. So if you see an artist that is going to be at that event, it behooves you to reach out to them ahead of time and arrange, potentially see if they're taking commissions, and if you can either send them a book, or maybe they have a book, or whether you can do a sketch cover or not. But arrange it ahead of time. Then they can bring it and you can pay it. You can pick it up there at the con. In the case of this first one, this is an artist that I've had done at this con and previous cons in the Bay Area multiple times. He's done a Green Goblin for me, and he's done a Hobgoblin for me. And so I thought, why not? Let's do one more cover from him, and let's get a demo Goblin so we can get the trifecta. That's Chris Marinan. Who did some art for the Amazing Spider-Man right around the time the first appearances of Carnage came out, and then did some work with Nova and some other stuff. But so here we got our demo Goblin, little cityscape background. That's good. And then this last one, actually, I had commissioned at San Francisco Fan Expo. And it's been done for about a month, and the artist had sent me this information and just asked me, hey, you're going to be at this event? And I said, yeah. And he says, well, great, I'll just bring it there if that's cool with you. And I'm, well, that's fine. So this is Brandon McKinney, who is the storyboard artist, one of the storyboard artists for Harley Quinn animated series, Kite Man, Lower Decks. He's also done work on some of the Transformers series and some of the other stuff. And so when I met him at San Francisco and I wanted to have one more, I laid out a couple different books for him. I said, what would you like to do? And he grabbed the Transformers book from me and said, I want to do Transformers. And I said, okay, cool. And he asked me if I had any preference on characters. I said, well, let's just steer away from Prime and Megatron and Soundwave, because those seem to be like overdone. And he goes, dude, what about Wheeljack? I said, sure. So here we go. Here's Wheeljack. That's a nice looking book. Thank you very much to Brandon McKinney for hooking me up with that. Appreciate it. And that's it. That's the haul. Guys, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. I think these little cons are pretty darn good, especially for picking up these kinds of books. I was very pleased with the selection. I was able to pick up a nice stack of books from the giveaway bin, a nice stack of stuff for us. Hit that like button, subscribe, and until next time, make sure you collect what you want. Don't listen to anyone, including me. I'm just a fat man with a fat stack of comics and a fat opinion. Thanks for watching.